Hi everyone, it's Rebecca from The Healthy Gut. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. Technology is not being my friend. The streaming service I use for going live decided to crash, so I'm very sorry about that. I'm just going to use my phone to check this is coming through loud and clear on the HYPOXI page, and it is. If you're tuning in, let me know that you can hear me okay, you can see me okay, so I can make sure my audio is coming through. Kim says hi, and just I'm assuming, Kim, you can hear me okay. Hi, Helen, good to see you. So today we're going to be talking all about meal planning with this kind of post-COVID world going back to some kind of normal. Life is going to get busier as we start going back to the office, as all of our kids' activities start coming back into play, and we won't have all that lovely spare time that we've had over these past couple of months to do all the cooking that we've been doing. And so I wanted to show you how you can prep on a weekend for a whole heap of meals during the course of the week. Now, I'm actually going to do this over a couple of parts. So today I'm going to share with you a couple of recipes, but I'm going to share next week, in next week's cooking class, some other recipes you can do with the very same ingredients that we're using today. So you can see how many different meals you can get out of just a couple of different vegetables, really. Hi, Maria, and thanks for asking how my back is. Uh, it's a long story, it's been a long process. I damaged my L5 disc. I don't know how. I don't know what happened to it. I discovered 2 years ago that I had a bulging and leaking disc at the base of my spine. It's not fun, doesn't sound fun, it's not fun. And it presses against a nerve. And just coming into home isolation and not moving the way I was has really flared it up. So I've had about 8 weeks now of pretty intense back pain. So it hasn't been fun. So a big thanks to Kim and Shelley again for taking the reins last week with the cooking class. I've got to say, I love their naughty and nice cooking classes. What do you guys think? Like, I love seeing that. I was lying on the couch, not able to move much last weekend, and I just thought they did a brilliant job. I loved the angel and devil horns. I thought that was really fun. And it's always really nice to see a healthy option and then that little naughty option in case we feel like a little bit of a naughty treat. All right, so let's get started in today's cooking. Ooh, and I'll try not to pull the laptop down. Oh dear. Sorry, I'll just fix this up so we've got power to my laptop. There we go. Okay, I haven't damaged anything. No, all right. Okay, so just checking again. Now I'm back here. You can still hear me loud and clear. Just pop in the comments or give me a thumbs up if my audio is still coming through. I'm using my AirPods, so hopefully it works. So one of the things that I do with my meal prep is I'll spend a Saturday or a Sunday getting ready for the week ahead. Because the last thing you want to do when you've come home from a really busy day and you're exhausted, if you've got kids, you're trying to deal with them, is then sit down and think about what are we eating for dinner or what am I having for lunch tomorrow? So one of my surefire all-time favorite things to do is buy a whole bunch of different veggies on a Saturday or Sunday, chop them up, and then I've got them for various meals during the week. And it looks like, yep, everyone's saying everything is okay. So there's no rule to what vegetables you use. Basically, just use either whatever's in the fridge or whatever you like. So today I've got some red onion because I can do red onion. But if you've got tummy troubles, it's best to stay away from the onion and garlic category. And I've just realized I need to share this video to our, share to group. There we go. So what I like to do is literally chop everything up if you want to have raw vegetables ready to go, you can save all of these veggies in the fridge in individual airtight containers, and it will really keep them going for a long time. So I'm going to chop a bunch of these veggies. So I've got some red onion. I'm going to slice up some leek. Again, you don't have to be too particular with what you're doing, but I'm just going to show you what we can do with this range of vegetables. Now, I hate waste. We actually have a worm farm for all of our vegetable scraps because after watching The War on Waste, that wonderful ABC show, we realised how much we were throwing in the bin that probably could go elsewhere. So with things like this is great for stock. So I'm going to show you what we do with our leftovers to make up a stock, which also then becomes part of our meals for the week. And I basically throw anything into my stock that's hanging around in the fridge, and anything that's looking a little tired, anything that's good from a flavour perspective. To get a really good stock going, I recommend you roast the bones first. That just adds some richness and deepness to the stock, makes it really lovely. All right, so we've got some red and green capsicum, which again, I'm just going to chop up roughly, because I'm not winning any awards for beauty competitions here with my vegetables. So tell me, guys, what are your favourite veggies? If you were going to prep some veggies for the week ahead, what would you go for? Or if you're wondering what are good low-carb veggies, then obviously pop that in the chat box and we can talk about that as well. So with the HYPOXI way of eating, we're wanting to choose low carbohydrate vegetables that won't give us a spike with our blood sugar and spike our insulin, which means that our body can stay in a fat burning mode for even longer. Now, I know that we haven't been able to get into our wonderful HYPOXI machines to support our body shaping goals over these several weeks because of all the closures with COVID. But it doesn't mean you can't still work on your body goals. And I'm a classic example of that. So at the beginning of ISO, I went a little crazy, baked all the goods, all the bread, and gained quite a few kilos as a result. And I thought to myself, this is crazy. I can't come out of home isolation bigger than I've ever been. So for the last month, I have followed the HYPOXI way of eating, which is just low carbohydrate, just sensible eating. So not big portion sizes, good quality fats, low carb, good quality organic and free range protein. And I've lost 5 kilos in a month. So whilst we're waiting for our wonderful HYPOXI machines to come back and open up again to us, we can still work on the nutrition side of our body shaping program, which is still just as important as when we get in those machines and we can really supercharge the results. So I've got here some chopped zucchini, I've got red and green capsicum, I've got some leek, I've got red onion, I've got these beautiful cherry tomatoes that are still on the vine. I've got some cauliflower. Now, cauliflower is great because it's nice and low carb. But if you don't like it, it's definitely a vegetable that leaves people quite divided. And I hated it as a child, but I've learnt to love it as an adult. But you could use broccoli if you don't like cauliflower. So I'm just going to chop that up quite roughly. All right. So this is what I do on a Sunday. I mean, I'm doing quite a small version and I'm using just one board, but you get the idea. So there are all my veggies chopped and ready to go for the week ahead. Now I've got some vegetable waste, so I'm going to put this to one side, and that's going to go in my chicken stock next time I make it. And I just put this in a bag or in a airtight container in the fridge. I will chop it up so it's ready to go. So literally all I have to do is get my slow cooker out, throw these vegetable scraps into it, put some chicken bones or beef bones in there as well, add some water, some dried herbs or fresh herbs like thyme, rosemary. They're really lovely. Those woody herbs are perfect for when you're making a stock. do put in about a tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar. The vinegar helps extract all of the beautiful nutrients from the bone to really help with your bone broth. So getting all those yummies into your bone broth. And then I put mine in my slow cooker for 24 hours, and then I've got the most amazing stock. And here is a little something I prepared earlier. So one of my meals, I've now got all my veggies prepped. So I've come home, they're all in a container in the fridge, and I'm like, I just don't have the time to do anything. I just want a quick, healthy meal. So with said bone broth, and this is a chicken broth, grab a handful of these veggies, pour some chicken broth into a pan on the stove, 15-20 minutes, and then you've got a beautiful, healthy vegetable soup or chicken soup. You could add some extra chicken too. Now, one of the other things that I do on my weekend prep is I wash and spin all of my leaves. So I've got some lovely organic rocket or arugula leaves here, and all I do is literally empty them out, put them in my salad spinner, give them a wash, spin them so they're nice and dry, put them back in their container, and then when I'm ready to grab a handful of leaves during the week, all I have to do is come to my container. So that's really good. Okay, so we'll spin that out. So now we've got veggies prepped, we've got our salad leaves prepped. You can see how just by doing these few steps on your weekend, it makes midweek life so much easier. So I've got my salad leaves ready to go. I might put it back in its container so I can store it in the fridge. Now, what else are we going to do with this? So I've got some vegetables in the oven cooking already, because this is what I regularly do. This is what my husband and I regularly do with our veggies, is we'll get this big, lovely tray of vegetables in the oven. Let's clean up this mess I have made. Let's make some space because we're going to pull this out. So again, another time-saving hack is roast these vegetables, and then you can have them in a container in the fridge, and they're just wonderful to add to a whole bunch of different things. Woo! Oh, how good does this look? Let's just spin that around. Okay. So all I've done here, guys, is I've literally taken this plate of chopped vegetables. I've thrown it on my oven tray with some baking paper at the bottom so it doesn't stick, drizzled some olive oil over it, salt and pepper, and then if you've got any fresh or dried herbs that you particularly love, you can add that. I'm addicted to thyme, so I throw a handful of thyme stalks in. I don't even worry about stripping the leaves off. I just throw the stalks in, because then you can just take the stalks out once the leaves have fallen away when they've cooked. And then the other thing I've done is I've got 2 chicken breast fillets here, so I just put them on the tray as well. And then there's my vegetables and my protein for the week ahead. So to make this into a couple of different meals, this is exactly what I do. So we've got our pot of stock bubbling away. Imagine that in the background. So we've got a chicken and veggie stock, and then we're going to do something with this. Now I'm just going to check the comments because I can see a couple have come through, but I can't quite see them. So Amalia, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Apologies if I got that wrong. We are desperately awaiting the HYPOXI studio reopening. So we'll be letting you know as soon as they open. And I personally can't wait to get back into my HYPOXI regime. I love getting into those machines. My machine of choice is the L250, which is the lying down machine, because that really helps with my back lying down and then just gently cycling while that machine works its wonders on my fat and cellulite. So I'm with you. I can't wait for us to be able to get back into the studios. Alrighty. So once these veggies, now these are pretty hot right now, as you can imagine, because they're straight out of the oven. But let's just say you've roasted this up on your Saturday or Sunday, you've put it in a container, it's cooled down, it's in the fridge, and then you're thinking, I just need a really quick lunch. So we've got some rocket leaves, and then we literally just grab a handful of veggies, mix it in with our rocket leaves. We've got our chicken that we've already cooked, so we don't have to do anything with that. So let's cut that one up so I can have some strips of lovely chicken, or you could just eat the whole chicken piece. Oh, this is lovely. The skin's gone nice and crispy. Beautiful. So there's my protein and my salad. If you're running out of time and even that is too hard, grab a tin of tuna or a tin of sardines or anything that you like. You've got an even quicker dish. All right, so there's one meal. Now, another thing that you can do with these lovely veggies is I made a ketogenic bread last night. This is the first time I've tried this recipe. It's not mine, it is somebody else's that I found on YouTube. So I will share the link if it's any good, but we're going to cut it open and have a look together. Have you ever made a keto bread? It's quite interesting because you're using nut flour instead of traditional gluten flour. Oh, this one looks really good. So this one literally contains maybe 5 ingredients. Let me come and show this to you. I'm really happy with this. Doesn't it look good? Looks lovely. So this is almond flour or almond meal. I put in 4 whole eggs, some yeast so that it can help kind of get these lovely air pockets in there and give it a nice yeasty, bready flavour. If you can't tolerate yeast, then obviously you wouldn't use that. There's some apple cider vinegar, some baking powder, salt and pepper. I think that was about it. I mixed it all together, let it prove for an hour, and then I baked it for an hour, and then I let it cool right down. But this is a really great way if you're missing bread, and you know, I love bread. I love fresh, crusty bread with lashings of butter on it. This is a really great way to get some bread type things into your diet, but they're very low carb and they're not going to put you into that high carb, blood glucose category where your body stops burning fat. So when we're body shaping, when we're doing hypoxia, we want to support our body to switch into fat burning mode, which is what the machines are really supporting, the blood flow to get out there and jiggle around some of this fat to get it moving on. So if we eat a lot of carbs, we're basically working against ourselves. So this is a great way to enjoy some bread, probably a little darker. Maybe I could have undercooked it slightly, but I don't mind a dark bread. I put some seeds on the top, some white and black sesame seeds. And then I've got this lovely slice. So another meal idea is we'll get our bread, put some salad leaves. Now you could put some homemade mayonnaise or a good quality mayonnaise on the bottom because that's some good fat. We're going to top it with some of these lovely vegetables. And there we have a really simple, really healthy and delicious open sandwich. And who's going to feel deprived when you're eating like that? So in a matter of no time, we've got a couple of different recipes that we can use, that we can pull together in a handful of minutes. at the end of a really busy day, and then we're sticking to our low carb hypoxia way of eating. So there's the first two recipes and a third one if you count the soup. But I'm going to show you more ideas with meal prepping and vegetable prepping in next week's class to help you get meals on the table in no time at all and sticking to your goals. So there you have it, guys. Another hypoxia at home cooking class by me, Rebecca, from The Healthy Gut. If you've got any questions around how I prep my meals and get organized for the week, please pop them in the comments below and I will happily answer them for you. But that's how we can make life so much easier and get ourselves out of the kitchen. We've got more important things to be doing than spending hours and hours slaving away in the kitchen. But yet we still want to have some really nice, healthy food. All right, everybody, I don't see any questions coming through, so we'll finish up. Maria says, that was awesome, Rebecca, thank you. Helen says, thanks, Beck. My pleasure, guys. Until next week, have a wonderful week. Enjoy your hypoxia at home classes. I do. I love all of those movement classes and the mindset class. If you haven't watched that yet, guys, go back and watch Greg from Hypoxia Elsternwick's class. It was really, I thought, a really valuable reminder of how important mindset is in us either achieving or not achieving our goals. So if you haven't listened, go back and listen. Kim says, love it, I'm going shopping. Fantastic. All right, everybody, have a great weekend and I'll see you next week. Now I can't see how to finish this. I'm using a different platform. I'm like, where's the finish button? There it is. Bye, everyone.